Good evening. The council will come to order. If we'd all please stand, we'll be led in prayer by Alderwoman Sheila Hayes.
Almighty God, we ask for your blessing upon the members of this council as we assemble here in this chamber to conduct the ongoing business of our city. With your guidance, we will strive to ensure that all our decisions are for the common good, and your inspiration will instill respect, compassion, and thoughtfulness in all our deliberations. Give us the strength and wisdom to lead by example as the people's representatives, and that peace and harmony will mark all our proceedings and keep us faithful to the trust placed in us by the citizens of your community. Amen.
Alderman Mark Betancourt, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I know.
Good evening, everyone.
Proclamation number 1, Black History Month.
So at this time, I'd like to defer to Alderwoman Sheila Hayes.
Whereas each year during the month of February, we celebrate Black History Month to broaden our knowledge and deepen our appreciation of the countless contributions African Americans have made to our nation. And whereas, while the celebration of our multi ethnic heritage should be a year round commitment, the designation of the month of February as Black History Month affords us the opportunity to highlight past and present African American culture, and whereas such its inception in 1976, Black History Month has grown to become a celebration of culture and diversity that fosters appreciation of the struggles and achievements of our African American population through the decades. And whereas the theme of Black History Month 2024 is African Americans and the Arts, which highlights the many impact Black Americans have had on visual arts, music, cultural movements, and whereas this month we remember the singers, actors, and poets and artists who left their mark on our culture, and the countless African Americans from all walks of life who helped make our country great. Now therefore, I, Mayor Peter Albert Nystrom, and Norwich City Council President Pro Tem Joseph A. DeLucia, on behalf of the Norwich City Council and the citizens of the city of Norwich, do hereby proclaim the month of February 2024 as Black History Month in the city of Norwich, and call upon the citizens of the Rose City and the surrounding area to observe the occasion with appropriate programs, ceremonies, and activities.
Thank you very much.
Number 2, Chamber of Commerce 20th Anniversary.
Thank you. At this time, I would defer to Alderman Nash.
Whereas, whereas 2004, founding chairman, Attorney Ted Phillips, identified the need for a Chamber of Commerce based in the northern half of New London County and acted to meet that need by forming the Greater Norwich Area Chamber of Commerce Incorporated. And whereas the mission of the Greater Norwich Area Chamber of Commerce is to take a leadership role to support, promote, enhance, and advance the general welfare and prosperity of the Greater Norwich area so that its citizens and its business and professional community shall prosper. And whereas the Greater Norwich Area Chamber of Commerce was incorporated on January 21st, 2024, and in less than 60 days, over 70 businesses joined. By the end of the second year, 200 business members, and as today, paid membership exceeds 560, representing thousands of employees, whereas, among others, former Norwich Mayor Ben Lathrop and currently Angela Adams have been executive director of the Greater Norwich Chamber of Commerce, and each has increased the number of businesses that belong and rely upon the Chamber. And whereas the Greater Norwich Area Chamber of Commerce conducts programs that allow businesses and professionals to network and educational programs to help them prosper. And whereas the Greater Norwich Area Chamber of Commerce acts as a conduit between businesses, owners, and managers and government officials. And whereas, as a result of the financial support of its members, the Greater Norwich Area Chamber of Commerce has been able to offer community events such as the Healthy Living Festival, Duck Race and Fair, Holiday Bazaar, career fairs, workshops, and Rock the Docks, Rocking the Green Summer Live Music Series at no charge to the public. And whereas the Greater Norwich Area Chamber of Commerce has, for 20 years, acted to ensure that the area is a desirable place in which to work, live, or visit. And whereas Chamber members are businesses and individuals that believe in taking action rather than sitting on the sidelines. They know that being a member is an investment, not just their own businesses, but also in their community and improve the quality of life in the area. Now, therefore, I, Mayor Peter Albert Nystrom, and Norwich City Council President Pro Tem Joseph A. DeLucia, on behalf of the Norwich City Council and its citizens of the City of Norwich, do hereby congratulate the Greater Norwich Area Chamber of Commerce as it celebrates its 20th year of helping businesses and the City of Norwich. Dated this date, the 20th of February, 2024, signed Peter Albert Nystrom, Mayor, and Joe A. DeLucia, President Pro Tem.
Thank you, sir.
Comment general?
I declare the citizen comment general at this time to be open. Anyone wishing to address the council on issues not on our agenda or important to you, please do so at the dais. Please state your name and address for the public record. Anyone like to address us on issues tonight? Sir, Mr. Bowie.
Rodney Bowie, 62 Roosevelt Avenue. I've heard a few rumblings about redoing the river next to 8th Street, making a park, out of the decrepit building down there. Now, we already have a park down at the end of 8th Street. Between the dam and 8th Street, there's a huge stretch of land that is a park already. So what do we actually need a park down below for? Why not just leave it alone? It costs a lot of money to tear down buildings. Now, I've lived on Roosevelt Avenue for the past 60 years. And I've used that park down there very, very many times for fishing, for just looking around, for enjoying a quiet walk. I don't think we need a new park, as I've been doing the same thing for 60 years. The consistent park has a huge area and is very, very interesting. There's a dam there, and people like to see the dam. For that matter, a person could even walk their dog down there. So why waste the money to tear down a building, to put a park in? Seems like it's just an excuse to do something. So the other thing I wanted to talk about, I heard, it's on the, I believe it's on the agenda. Seems like you want to spend a lot of money to do an exit ramp. My grandfather said that when the government hands you some money, chances are he's got his hand in your pocket. So I don't understand. Uh, maybe the president has a lot of money, but the citizens of Norwich don't have that much to just throw around. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I'd also like to address the council on the citizen comment general at this time. Anyone else on the general citizen comment at this time? Anyone else on the citizen comment general at this time? Seeing no one else, I declare that closed. Thank you, sir.
Presentations and oral report will be given by David Eccleston, the ratepayer representative for the Connecticut Municipal Electric Energy Cooperative, CMAC.
Thank you. David, welcome.
Thank you. It's been a year. If you remember my report last year, it's been a year though. This will sound very similar. 2023 was similar to 2022 in a lot of ways, and I've deliberately chosen to phrase things the same way to make the message the same, but it's been a year. Overall, though, CMEC continues to serve our best interests, in my opinion, with lowest reasonable cost electricity and transparency in operations and transparency in decision-making. Now, they have a mission statement, and their mission is to provide reliable, sustainable, and cost-effective energy solutions to meet evolving needs of members and stakeholders through joint action, public power advocacy, and leveraging benefits of scale. I claim I've seen evidence of them doing that all year. They're definitely looking to manage our evolving needs, and they are evolving. Now, for the most part, you'll probably remember that CMEC buys wholesale electricity on behalf of the member utilities. That's the major way that they procure it, they get it to us. That's also the best way that they save us money, because they purchase it strategically. They also have assets in various places. I think you know that they've got the solar garden, and they've got micro-generation facilities in a number of member utility areas where, when the conditions are right, the micro-generators fire up and provide power locally. The energy is sold into the grid. There's no transmission cost. And all of that is used to create margin, which lowers our cost. They've got a number of projects and a number of places that do that. And I often forget, and shouldn't, that they also buy electricity on behalf of a lot of major consumers in the area, like Electric Boat, Pfizer, and they make a little margin on that, and that margin lowers our cost. So I think they're doing all these things to our benefit. My job, as you know, is to be a fully engaged and productive member of the board. CMEC treats me as such. In my capacity as a board member, I see all the meeting minutes. I see all the meeting materials. I'm invited to all the events. There's no holding back. There are decisions that I don't get a vote on when it comes to how the member utilities decide to spend money on projects, invest in projects, and distribute the benefits of those projects. I don't get to vote on that, but I can go to the meeting, I can comment, I can be a full participant any way I need. So they're making use of me. They encourage my participation in every committee. And along those lines, my mission is still, it's a complicated business. I'm never going to understand all of it, so I'm constantly challenged with learning more. I need to understand. Every year I should learn, because there's always something to learn. In some ways, I should try and challenge what they're doing. And I have to admit the current board of directors and the ratepayer representatives from all the member units do a pretty good job of that. So decisions are getting scrutinized very well at CMEC. But at the bottom line is I want to know that CMEC performance results in reliable electricity at the lowest reasonable achievable cost. Now, when I say reliability, Norwich ratepayers perceive reliability based on what Chris LaRose and his team does. But Chris depends on CMEC to deliver as promised, so he can plan and execute. And I'll talk a little bit more about that later. Most of the work done at CMEC is done at the committee level, and I've served on 4 of the 5 committees: Audit, Budget and Finance, Legislative Affairs, and Risk Management last year. I didn't serve on the Governance Committee, but I read their materials, and what they do gets discussed at the General Board meeting. So based on my commitments to them, there were 32 meetings that were scheduled for me to attend last year. I made 30 of them. I was balancing my work commitments with Electric Boat and CMEC, and I managed to do that without conflict. And my employer, Electric Boat, continues to be happy with me serving that capacity, taking time off during the day to attend the CMEC business without interrupting my commitments to Electric Boat. And as I've already said, every board member has access to every committee's meeting materials, so you can attend any meeting you want. I read it all. CMEC is really good about getting meeting materials to us several days in advance. If they ever slip up and it's day ahead or changes at the last minute, it's accompanied by profuse apology. It's really ingrained behavior for them to try and inform us in advance, because you get a better meeting, as you folks know. You get a better decision. But the main thing we're interested in from a ratepayer representative is cost performance. So over the course of 2023, CMEC delivered wholesale electricity at a rate significantly below the benchmark, which is Eversource. We looked at changing the benchmark if there was a more appropriate measure using some composite index. We stuck with Eversource. They're the big dog. That's your main way to figure out what the local folks are paying for electricity. And I think I told you last year that 2022, 2023 wholesale electricity prices were scary high. And CMEC learned from that. They did a pretty good job last year. They learned from that, and they applied what they learned to this year. Now, this year hasn't been looking as scary, but they've navigated through the winter rates very well. They ended up running about, the unaudited results were 38% below Eversource, which is really good. And of course, they continue to use the projects that operate in niche applications to further improve cost performance. Now, there's 2 ways we measure them. One is comparison to Eversource. The other is comparison to their plan. They predict how much electricity is going to be needed and what it's going to cost every month of the year. And that information is used by the members to plan their money, power, what they got to go do. And being able to deliver on that is important. They got within 4% of their prediction at the end of the year, which I think is phenomenal. So all in all, cost performance has been very good, if not outstanding. Weather and world events still affect it, and they roll with it. Budget and Finance. The Budget and Finance Committee provides the most insight into how CMEC works. And this year, they gave us a briefing on how the accounting process works for CMEC. It's a nonprofit. It's in the power industry. It's not like other nonprofits. Vocabulary is a little different. They've chosen to use the approach that the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission uses. So it's custom in a lot of ways, and law affects how the money is moved around. So they gave us some training on that, and that put all of us in a better position to evaluate the budget put in front of us and understand the monthly reports. So Budget and Finance Committee meets once early in the year, onboard new people, and confirm that the budget that was worked through in the October of the previous year is still the right budget if there's a need to change. And then we don't really meet again until budget season in August, September, October. We end up meeting every 2 weeks, and they go through the budget hand over hand. Everything is looked at. Nothing's given a pass. They give us rationale for reducing something. They give us rationale for increasing something. They give us rationale for keeping something the same. The budget really gets scrubbed, and it's all done transparently. And I see that I'm still seeing cost-conscious behavior from CMEC. They're removing costs. They're volunteering to reduce things. Although this year, you could say that it's a little unusual. First time in 4 years, the non-fuel budget actually increased. Most of the money that goes to CMEC is used to buy power or operate projects. The money that's used to run the place is the non-fuel budget. And for the first time, they're training people, they're developing people, they're investing in folks. Things that ceased under COVID, they're starting up again, and that's increased the cost somewhat. But we're talking about single-digit increases in that part of the budget. So it's very responsible. There was also an external financial audit, which resulted in an unmodified opinion. I'm not well-versed in all this, but basically they presented their budget, their accounting records, and the external audit said that it's accurate and it's not misleading. It tells the truth, nothing to modify. That's the highest rating possible. But that's typical for CMEC these days. So I feel obligated to talk about the legal issues. I think we've all read the papers. We're in the restitution phase of the trial. The result, the outcome has been appealed. I don't have a feel for when it's going to wrap up. I just can't predict that stuff. And we're still trying to get more money from the insurance company that gave us our directors and officers insurance to cover legal fees. We've recovered millions, which is good. Last I saw, it was over half of what was spent has been recovered. Don't know about how long it's going to take to get the rest or how much we're going to get, but I will tell you that legal expenses have plummeted. It's just down to a trickle, which feels good. But at the end of the day, it's not routine business. It only when there's something new to report, we talk about it, then we go back to work. Legislative affairs. So I've learned in the last 2 years that FERC, the independent operator, state and federal governments, they're pretty good about reaching out for comment, and they want the industry to talk to them about the impact of rule changes or legislation changes. And the big dogs, like Eversource, are always there, and they're able to talk to them and get their opinions weighed. They affect a lot of people, so they should be listened to. But CMEC also reaches out and usually bands with the other small guys who have similar positions to give them an informed opinion. And the state and federal entities listen to that. I think that's an important part. CMEC doesn't have, you would think it's small, it could be agile, but there's less money, there's less capability. You could be affected by constraints depending on what happens. So we just want to be heard to avoid something adverse happening because they just didn't consider the little guys. And we know things are changing, so we have to pay attention to that. In my opinion, we're all moving to decarbonize. And if you move too fast, you spend money inefficiently. If you move too slow, we could play catch up. So the trick is finding the right pace. And at this point, I think we know it's all kind of slowed down, but that could change. And therefore, here in the land of steady habits, I think we need to keep working towards that future. And that's where the strategic plan comes in. The strategic plan is not only about continual improvement, but there are specific elements of the strategic plan that are there to help us navigate through the changes we're expecting. We approved a decarbonization plan this year as part of the strategic plan, and I think that's a big deal. But I got to tell you, I think you folks know that what we have invoked on us in the state of Connecticut is not a legal mandate. We have the governor saying we need to create pathways and strategies for achieving a 100% zero carbon target for the electric sector by 2040. So no legal mandate, but last year I learned in the read-ahead materials for this Thursday's board meeting, most of the capacity that was added to the New England grid was in renewables. It's solar, storage, wind. The grid is changing as we speak, and the pace may not be impressive right now, but all new technology reaches an inflection point and it takes off. We want to be ready for that. And I don't know whether it's 3 years away, 8 years away, or 12 years away, but we're going to work steadily toward that. And CMEC's strategic plan says it. To sum up what the decarbonization plan does, it works with the risk policy to give us guides. Um, and, and first and foremost, I'll say that based on all of that, CMEC and the board is not interested in expensive green electricity. If it's low cost and green, we're certainly going to pursue it. But then there's this middle ground, which is sort of, I'll call it cost neutral. Now, there are strategic reasons for going after that. You can use cost neutral green power to improve your portfolio for public good. You can use the power purchase agreements to remove volatility and risk of higher prices due to market fluctuations. Every one of those, everything that we agreed to do gets a pro forma, gets scrubbed financially. But in essence, we're not looking for expensive green power. It's low cost, and then cost neutral gets its own scrub. That's what it means to me. So this year, we're doing a scrub of finances. We got a briefing on the investment policy. For CMEC to be able to buy power and invest in things and start projects, they need to have money. It affects their credit rating. It affects their bond rating. So there's money at CMEC that we all know about, but that money doesn't sit idle. It's invested conservatively, and every 5 years we're obligated to look at it. So we've started looking at that. It's a 5-year financial plan and investment policy. These are things a healthy organization should do and normally would do. And I think it's timely given that we just accepted a decarbonization policy or plan. So in summary, in my opinion, CMEC consistently keeps their commitment to deliver the lowest reasonable cost electric power. They consistently operate with transparency and accountability at the board level. I continue to observe cost-conscious behavior by the CMEC staff and CEO, and CMEC is actively preparing for the future, whatever it holds. I'm happy to take questions.
Thank you, David. You've been carrying on this responsibility for the city for some time now, and your grasp of the entire system and how it functions is very much appreciated. You really do a great job for us, and I just want to thank you on behalf of everyone. It is a large undertaking, and it is volatile. It is changing. You talked about the acknowledgement, the need to be more carbon neutral. And I'm not looking to place you in any kind of political discussion, but it seems from your report that your CMEC is already moving in that direction correctly without exposing the ratepayers to unnecessary costs. And I worry sometimes the legislators think that they have to move that timeline ahead of what works in the market. And that's my fear right now. I don't know if you can briefly comment on that.
So I understand how governments can influence the direction industry takes in a positive way. It can be a good thing. But we look at the bottom line every month at CMEC. We look at what the expenses are. Every project gets a financial pro forma, so we understand the risk, the benefit, what could go wrong, how it's going to help us. And the mentality right now is this is why I was happy about the decarbonization policy coming out, or plan coming out, because it really helped me understand where the board was at. What you articulated is correct. We would like to move as fast as we can, but we know it's not necessarily a responsible use of ratepayer dollars, and that keeps us in check. But the opportunities have to be there too. CMEC is constantly looking for opportunities for projects that'll help us decarbonize, but also help lower our costs. And when those two things come together, we get the right outcome. The opportunities aren't there right now, the opportunities aren't there to get us into trouble, but that could change. And I think the posture is appropriate right now.
Thank you very much. Members, council, questions? Thank you. Alderman Bencourt.
You know, I'm just gonna echo what the mayor said in his opening there. Turn this on.
I heard you.
Yeah, I project anyway, it's not like I need it. But obviously, I've told you this before, so this is not a secret, that I feel like you've done an excellent job on any assignment you've had as far as the city goes, and you certainly make a professional report and presentation, and it's certainly well thought out, and your priorities are right on. So I appreciate the effort personally, and along with everyone else here, I'm sure. So I thank you.
Alderwoman Gould.
I'm just going to echo what we've all said up here, that it's obviously that you put a considerable amount of time and energy into this position. You take your position as the ratepayer representative for the city of Norwich very seriously. We can't thank you enough, because you've set the bar so high. So if you ever decide you don't want to do this again, you've set the bar so high for the next person. They're going to be calling you a lot. And we also appreciate your willingness to continue in this role, because it's vitally important and gives us a lot of confidence in CMAC, knowing that you're there representing us. So thank you, David.
I appreciate all of that, folks. I really do.
Thank you. Other comments, questions? Thank you very much. Always good to see you.
Likewise.
On resolutions, on agenda items only.
Thank you. At this time, I declare citizen comment on resolutions to be open. Anyone wishing to address us on resolutions 1 through 8, please feel free to do so. Approach the dais, name and address for the public record, please. Anyone like to address us on resolutions 1 through 8?
Good evening, Kevin Brown, President, Norwich Community Development Corporation, 66 Franklin. Just a quick endorsement on the first resolution that you're undertaking tonight. A reminder that this is our third attempt at getting a raise grant to improve the on and off ramps at exit 18. Every bit of infrastructure, no matter what it is, bridges, old buildings that need to be taken down, even on and off ramps on an interstate, ultimately age out and require replacement or improvement. And if I may, I can just tell you that even when they were first built, and I was a kid in the back seat of the car, and we were going to visit Uncle Jack on Mish Drive, right up at the top of those on and off ramps, I can tell you that back then, at least in that car, we thought that they were probably unsafe at that time. Here we are, decades later, and speed and volume of traffic have those on and off ramps rated as a D moving to an F in their current configuration with the current traffic volumes. But you all know that we're underway with a project to create more traffic volume at that location, and that is largely the reason for this raise grant. Being that we've come at it 3 times, I just want to make sure that I highlight, particularly for Mr. Bowie's consideration, that we have brought the cost down each year. And this year's $16 million and some change is a significant reduction from the first year that we went after it, when we were right up at the cap of about $24.9 million. Still, these improvements will improve not only vehicular traffic, but also pedestrian traffic in and around that interchange, to include the addition of signalization that's required as well. Thank you for taking up the resolution, and I'll be available for any questions.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else like to address the council on resolutions before us at this time? Anyone else like to address the council? Mr. Bowie.
Rodney Boyd, 62 Roosevelt Avenue. As I said before, I'm against this item 1. But I'd like to do another. Item 5, appointments to alternate members of Fair Rent Commission. Now, I've been a landlord for the past 60 years in this town, and I've never heard of it. Now, I read a lot, and is a Fair Rent Commission actually needed at all? Is it? I've read about fair rent commissions in New York. They haven't helped. In fact, they've made things a total misery. They haven't contributed to low-income housing or anything else. Now, the apartments I rent are basically low rent. They're very nice. They're all heated. They're well taken care of. In fact, most of the floors are sanded. I don't have too much carpet in any of them. Now, I don't see any reason for even having the rent commission. Is it just a way of making things difficult, or what is it? I've never seen anything of it, and I don't know how long it's been in commission. So, I think it's time to do away with it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Again, anyone like to address us on the resolutions before it at this time? Anyone like to address us at the resolutions before us at this time? Anyone like to address us at the resolutions before it at this time? Seeing no one else, thank you for your comments. Declare it closed.
New business resolutions number 1, relative to U.S. Department of Transportation seeking grant funding from RAISE to upgrade exit ramp 18.
Thank you. At this time, I'd ask for a motion to bring this to the floor. Alderman Nash, is there a second? Alderman Bettencourt. Is there discussion? Alderman Singh.
Just a quick comment for knowledge of public. This is a federal grant, so money is not coming from city funds. And I hope there is a good amount of advocacy that has been done on this topic with our federal leaders. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. President Pro Tem?
Thank you. Could we ask Kevin Brown to come back to the podium?
Certainly. Thank you.
Good evening, Kevin. How are you?
Good, thank you.
It's good to see you again, as always.
Good to be back.
Just a couple of quick questions. So you mentioned in your public comment that this is our third attempt at trying to close this deal. So it would make sense that we pull out all the stops, right? We really, we're at the point where this one needs to be successful this time. Mm-hmm. I've done a little bit of research, and I found that more or additional favorable consideration is given to these grant applications when the project includes a project labor agreement. Is that your understanding as well?
It is actually stipulated, Alderman DeLucia, in the notice of funding opportunity when it comes out from the federal government. Nothing hidden. It is in black and white. When the federal government issues this application process, it says that projects that include a project labor agreement will be scored favorably.
So with that in mind, have you spoken to the Building Trades Council and the Carpenters Council? And
we have. We've reached out to get their support. They have agreed to provide a letter of support for this application, which is due on February 28th. In fact, we're in receipt of one of those trade letters of support right now.
So is it the intention that seeking their support or accepting the offer of their support, however it came to pass, I'm glad that you're talking, but does that get included in the application?
It does. And it is contingent though, obviously, I guess, upon receipt of an award. There's no binding commitment until and unless we actually are awarded money from the federal government to go out and execute this project, which means that the wages and all things associated with the PLA are included in the costing of the project.
Okay. All right, you answered my last question, so thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank
I-
you, Mr.
If
Mayor.
I could,
Sure.
in response to Alderman Singh's point, I meant to mention, there's over $1 billion, 1 billion with a B, that are gonna go throughout the country. Our federal taxpayer monies are gonna get distributed throughout the entire United States to federal highway projects. It behooves us to try to get some of those tax dollars that we've paid back into our infrastructure here in Norwich, to your point.
Definitely, and that's why we need to do advocacy on this topic with our federal leaders, so they can bring that money in Norwich for us.
And I think you know, Alderman Singh, that we have sustained that communication with them over these last 3 attempts. In fact, it was Senator Blumenthal and Congressman Courtney who, on the telephone, walked me off the ledge when we didn't get it the first time, I'm sorry. And Congressman Courtney was very clear. He said, Kevin, it took me 5 tries to get the Tiger grant, which is the precursor to this RAISE grant, to improve the rail along the Thames River. He said, you just got to keep going after it. So we're in no way failing. We're just fighting the entire country to try to get this grant through.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I would share with you the discussions with our city manager, who was away this evening. We had discussions surrounding that PLA issue and discussions with both senators previously. So it's the way to go. Is there further comment on the resolution at this time? Seeing none, a roll call?
Alderman Nash?
Yes.
Alderwoman Hayes? Yes. Alderman Bettencourt?
Yes.
Alderwoman Gould?
Yes.
Alderman Singh?
Yes.
President Pro Tem DeLucia?
Yes?
Mayor Knight?
Yes. Thank you. Resolution is adopted 7-0.
Number 2, relative to a reappointment of the regular member to Historic District Commission.
Thank you. At this time, I have a motion to bring this to the floor. Alderwoman Sheila Hayes, second Alderman Nash. Is there discussion? Seeing none, the person being appointed is Peter Stahl as a regular member. A roll call, please.
Alderman Nash?
Yes.
Alderwoman Hayes?
Yes.
Alderman Bettencourt?
Yes.
Alderwoman Gould? Alderman Singh?
Yes.
President Pro Tem DeLucia?
Yes?
Mayor Knight?
Yes. Thank you. Resolution 2 is adopted 7-0.
Number 3, relative to an appointment of regular member, Mohegan Park Improvement and Development Advisory Committee.
A motion, please, bring to the floor. Alderwoman Sheila Hayes, second Alderwoman Gould. Is there discussion? Seeing none, please, Pro Tem.
Are you gonna just saying the name of
Yes.
the person on all of them?
Yeah.
Thank you, thank you.
Yes, the person being appointed as a regular member of MOPEP is Tracy Berto, former councilwoman. Roll call, please.
Alderman Nash?
Yes.
Alderwoman Hayes?
Yes.
Alderman Bettencourt?
Yes.
Alderwoman Gould? Alderman Singh? President Pro Tem DeLucia? Mayor Nystrom?
Yes. Thank you. Resolution adopted 7-0.
Number 4, relative to appointments of alternate members of the Commission on City Plan.
Thank you. Motion, please, bring to the floor. Alderwoman Gould, second. Alderwoman Sheila Hayes. Is there discussion? Okay, seeing none, I'll ask for a roll call following the announcement that the person being appointed as alternate member of the commission is Tracy Berto, as well as Nicholas Fortson. Roll call, please.
Alderman Nash?
Yes.
Alderwoman Hayes?
Yes.
Alderman Bettencourt?
Yes.
Alderwoman Gould?
Yes.
Alderman Singh?
Yes.
President Pro Tem DeLucia?
Yes?
Mayor Nystrom?
Yes. Thank you. The resolution is adopted 7-0.
Number 5, relative to appointments of alternate members to the Fair Rent Commission.
Motion, please, bring to the floor. Alderman Nash, second. Alderman Singh. Is there discussion, President Pro Tem?
Mayor, I have one correction I believe that needs to be made. Judging by, Lori Ann's name on the website, the capital A here should be a lowercase a, so that, and, it would match what we have on Resolution 6.
Thank you. You'd like to
Unless,
amend that?
unless a member of the council knows for sure that it's a capital A. Okay.
Should we amend that?
I think we just take it as a technical error.
Okay, technical. Thank you. Appreciate that information. Before I ask for a comment, person spoke about this. This was a mandate from the state of Connecticut. It was required that a fair rent commission be created. Is there discussion on the resolution before us? For the record, Nicole Haggerty and then Lori Ann Messor are being appointed as alternate tenant member, Nicole Haggerty, and alternate landlord member, Lori Ann Messor. Roll call, please.
Alderman Nash?
Yes.
Alderwoman Hayes?
Yes.
Alderman Bettencourt?
Yes.
Alderwoman Gould?
Yes.
Alderman Singh? Yes. President Pro Tem DeLucia?
Yes?
Mayor Nystrom?
Yes. Thank you. Resolution 5 is adopted 7-0.
Number 6, relative to a reappointment of the regular member to the Senior Affairs Commission.
Motion, please, to bring this to the floor. Alderman Singh, second Alderwoman Gould. Is there discussion? Seeing none, the person being appointed as a regular member, again, is Lori Ann Messor. Roll call, please.
Alderman Nash? Yes. Alderwoman Hayes?
Yes.
Alderman Bettencourt? Yes. Alderwoman Gould? Yes. Alderman Singh? Yes. President Pro Tem DeLucia?
Yes?
Mayor Nystrom?
Yes. Thank you. Resolution 6 is adopted 7-0.
Number 7, relative to a reappointment to the Connecticut Municipal Electric Cooperative, CMAC, as a ratepayer representative.
Thank you. Motion, bring it to the floor. Alderman Singh, second Alderwoman Gould. Is there discussion? Okay, person being appointed again is David Eccleston, who reported to us this evening. Again, we are extremely grateful for your continued willingness to serve. Roll call, please.
Alderman Nash? Yes. Alderwoman Hayes?
Yes.
Alderman Bettencourt?
Yes.
Alderwoman Gould?
Yes.
Alderman Singh?
Yes.
President Pro Tem DeLucia? Mayor Nystrom?
Yes. Thank you. Resolution 7 is adopted unanimously 7-0.
Number 8, relative to a reappointment to the Zoning Board of Appeals.
Motion, please, to bring it to the floor. Alderman Nash, second Alderwoman Gould. Is there discussion? President Pro Tem.
Mayor, after conversation with Corporation Counsel, this is a city manager's appointment with acknowledgement of the city council rather than approval of the city council. So I'd like to offer up a change that in the first paragraph, we change approval to acknowledgement, and that would match the now therefore be it resolved portion in the second paragraph.
Thank you. Is there a second, please? Alderwoman Gould. Discussion on the amendment? Seeing none, roll call.
Alderman Nash?
Yes.
Alderwoman Hayes?
Yes.
Alderman Bettencourt?
Yes.
Alderwoman Gould? Yes. Alderman Singh?
Yes.
President Pro Tem DeLucia?
Yes?
Mayor Nystrom?
Yes. Thank you. The amendment passes 7-0 on Resolution 8 as amended. Is there further discussion? Seeing none, roll call.
Alderman Nash?
Yes.
Alderwoman Hayes?
Yes.
Alderman Bettencourt?
Yes.
Alderwoman Gould? Yes. Alderman Singh?
Yes.
President Pro Tem DeLucia? Yes. Mayor Nystrom?
Yes. Thank you. Resolution 8 is adopted as amended 7-0.
Motion to adjourn.
Second?
Second, so Gould and then Nash. Roll call on adjournment.
Alderman Nash? Yes. Alderwoman Hayes?
Yes.
Alderman Bettencourt?
Yes.
Alderwoman Gould? Yes. Alderman Singh? Yes. President Pro Tem DeLucia?
Yes?
Mayor Nystrom?
Yes. Motion to adjourn passes 7-0. We are adjourned this evening. Thank you all.